In our last video, we checked out this 2025 Toyota Corolla LE, a sedan that comes in under $25,000, which basically gives you all the intangibles. It's affordable, it's efficient, it's practical, and somewhat comfortable. However, the LE is the base trim, so you're not going to receive all the creature comforts, bells and whistles, or amenities. And if you are someone looking for more than just the intangibles, more than just the on-road comfort and efficiency, well, there is a affordable choice that will cost you about $2,500 more. And that is the 2025 Toyota Corolla SE. Now with the SE, you're receiving quite a bit here. Before we even talk about the interior, just take a look at the exterior. You have that sportier grille, and it just looks a bit more aggressive and menacing. And in today's video, we're going to check out what the 2025 Toyota Corolla SE is offering at $2,500 more and why it might be a better choice over the LE. Now before we get in this video, I want to give a huge shout and thank you to AutoFair Toyota in Tewksbury, Massachusetts for letting me come down here to check out the Toyota Corolla SE. Their link will be in the description below so you can check out their extensive Toyota inventory. So as always, let's begin with pricing. For 2025 with the Corolla SE, you're looking at a starting cost of right around $24,600. That's where the $2,500 difference comes into play compared to that LE. Pricing wise, this would be very comparable to a Honda Civic Sport, maybe even a Volkswagen Jetta Sport. However, there is one thing I want to point out here. If you are looking at buying that Civic Sport, Honda dropped the manual for 2025, making this comparison very interesting indeed, because if you don't know how to drive manual and you're just looking for a lower profile sedan that looks cool, sleek, and aggressive, the Corolla might actually be the better choice because you do have optional packages that gives you a lot of value here for a car under $30,000 or right around $25,000. Also, by going with the Corolla SE over the LE, you're getting a sedan that looks more futuristic, a bit more upscale, and obviously far more aggressive than that pedestrian trim. So up front, you are going to have LED headlights with signature lighting. That is one key difference here compared to the LE. From far away, it makes a huge difference, makes this Corolla look like that XSE, which takes some elements from that particular trim. You're also going to notice the mesh grille design. I love that touch. And I have to say, Toyota does a fantastic job with their mainstream cars, excluding the GR86, GR Corolla, and Toyota Supra, where they just know how to design a sportier trim. It looks really cool and sleek, and some manufacturers do struggle with that. Also, on top of this, you can go with a two-toned exterior design for the SE, and you don't typically find that in this market. Is that worth the extra cost? I don't think so, but if you're someone who's into that, I think you're definitely going to like it. For the lower portion of the front bumper, you are going to have contrasting accents here. From far away, it looks like it's gloss black, but it's not. It's really a dark gray look, which actually looks pretty cool here on this car. Then as you make your way over to the side profile, you are going to notice the 18-inch alloy wheels. This makes a huge difference for this car because if you remember that LE review, those 16s with the steel wheels and the hubcaps makes the LE look so old and archaic. It makes this generation look actually quite old in the market to begin with and the segment. So if you're someone looking for a car that definitely looks the part, looks like a 2025 model, go with the SE for sure. Even though with the LE you can go with 16-inch alloy wheels, which is an optional package, I just think go with the SE. This would be the better pick right off the bat. You're also going to notice the contrasting accents that run the length of the side profile. Love that touch here on this model. Again, it ties everything together for the Corolla SE. It makes it look sporty and unique. Another minor upgrade over the LE is that you are going to have turn signal indicators for those side mirror caps. However, just like we saw with the LE, blind spot detection and rear cross traffic alert is optional. And one thing I do like here with this model is that the side mirror caps are body color matching. Then as you make your way around to the back, the contrasting accents take precedence here for the rear diffuser with the dual exhaust outlets, also that nice little trim piece that connects into the taillights, which are LED by the way. You don't typically find that in this market. A lot of manufacturers still give you incandescent tail lamps, and it just reminds you that what you're buying here is a cheap car and not the best option in the lineup. But Toyota's at least giving you some of those minor touches that will definitely go a long way. way. Also, the Toyota badge with the Corolla and SE badges are all in those contrasting accents. Again, reminding you that the SE is not going to be that boring and sedated look that you have with that LE. And then last, you are going to have the subtle decklet spoiler on the trunk, which is a nice touch. Now, obviously, with the SE, you're not going to get a better powertrain under the hood, but it's those smaller accents, it's those smaller details that ties everything together for this car, and that's why I think, at least aesthetically, it's a better option over the LE. And while we're taking a look at the rear fascia, might as well go over the cargo area for the SE. So no surprises here, no power trunk. But inside, behind the second row seat, you're looking at right on 13 cubic feet of room, which is competitive with the Honda Civic, also the Volkswagen Jetta, Hyundai Elantra, and would fall short, obviously, compared to a Subaru Impreza, since Subaru no longer offers a sedan variant for that model. Now, I was able to fit all my camera gear today, no problem. So I have 3 bags of camera gear, a gimbal box, and a tripod. There's also a box back here, probably for some floor mats, and that doesn't take away from that cargo space. So I think if you are going on a road trip with a significant other or some smaller kids, you'll be able to fit a lot of items back here. I'm thinking probably 6 or 7 bags of luggage. Now, you can go with a hatchback with the Corolla if you so desire, but if you just want a sedan, you just want to spend around $25,000, this is still a great practical choice. Hopping inside the SE, there are 3 key differences here for this trim that makes a world of a difference compared to the LE. They all culminate together very nicely to make it a great choice if you are someone who enjoys driving, or if you're someone who still wants the affordability and the efficiency, but you also want to have that fun factor come into play for a car in this market. So up front, you are going to have sport cloth seats for both the driver and passenger. Both seats up front are manually adjustable, typical for a car in this market at around $25,000. The bolstering and support is a huge upgrade over what you have with the LE. The LE obviously is still going to be comfortable, but I think the SE gives you the sportier qualities that you're looking for with a sedan that has a sport-tuned suspension. And on top of that, you also have a drive mode selector where you can put the Corolla in sport mode. So altogether, you are going to have a bit more fun being behind the wheel of this sedan. Now, also with the SE, you will have a leather-wrapped steering wheel, which feels really nice in the hands. Obviously, you don't have aggressive 10 and 2 positions or firm 9 and 3 grips, and you won't have paddle shifters, which is to be expected for a car in this market and for a car with a CVT. But you are going to notice a difference here in quality compared to that LE if you are cross-shopping the two. Before I get into the technology aspect for the Corolla, as you can probably tell, we have a base SE here. So no optional packages, no optional equipment. What you see is what you get at around $24,600. But those optional packages do add a lot more value to the sedan. So let's go over them. So for $530 with the SE convenience package, you have blind spot detection and rear cross traffic alert and heated outside mirrors. But for $2,000 with the SE premium package, you receive everything you have with the convenience package, but on top of that, you have a wireless phone charging pad, a 7-inch digital gauge cluster, a 10.5-inch touchscreen, and also that power moonroof. I think for the $2,000, it makes this car feel a bit more upscale and probably stretches your dollar just a bit more, but that's up to you to decide. So for our model, we have a smaller information display here, giving you some intuitiveness and functionality. So by using the buttons on the left side of the steering wheel, you can scroll through a variety of information, such as your fuel economy statistics, your adaptive cruise control mode, your music, your trip computer, and then of course your safety systems where you can turn them on and off. I'll leave all this on for added safety and peace of mind. But more importantly though, and one thing I have already discovered here so far with the Corolla is that you do have traffic sign recognition. Now, I am a bit surprised to see that for a car under $25,000. Although we are starting to see a lot more of that trickle its way down to more affordable models and trims, but to have that under $25,000, that does go a long way and is a nice little feature to have here if this is your first car and you don't want to get caught speeding. However, if you are someone looking for more of a tech-filled experience, go with that optional package with that 7-inch screen. Then taking a look at the infotainment system, you are going to have a 7-inch touchscreen here with Apple CarPlay and Android Auto compatibility, and you can subscribe for onboard navigation. Now, we have seen this screen across all models in the Toyota lineup, so I'm not going to bore you here going over the functionality here. But to have this software in an affordable car like this, and for a older generation Corolla compared to the new Camry, That's actually rather impressive here. So you're not going to have a home screen per se, but you are going to have quick access icons on the left side of the screen to get you to different menus, such as your music, your Bluetooth, your vehicle settings, such as your trip information, your vehicle alert systems, and then also your vehicle settings, such as personal information, Bluetooth devices, general notifications, Wi-Fi display, sound media, voice and search. You can go through all this on your own time and at your own discretion, but it's very simple, trimmed down, and relatively easier to use, although I do think that other manufacturers in this segment are giving you better technology. Just my opinion. Obviously, with this being just an SE, you are going to receive a rear backup camera with the lines, no trajectory, so no active trajectory here, so you might have to look at your mirrors when you are backing out of tight spots or on a city street. Beneath that, you are going to have two dials here for your single zone climate control and fan speed, and there'll be a single row of buttons for your AC, front and rear defrosters, and fan direction. Then making your way towards the center console, there will be a cubby for a smartphone or wallet, and next to that will be a USB-C outlet. For the center console itself, you will have your drive mode selector here for sport, normal, and eco, and you'll also have your traction control on and off button, which most likely you'll never use in a Corolla, but at least it's there. Then for your gear shifter, it'll be flanked by gloss black trim. We see a lot of that in this market. I know some of you are going to say, but it's not going to be easy to clean or maintain, but it does give this car more of a sportier touch. Next to that will be your two cup holders, your auto vehicle hold, and electronic parking brake. And for the center storage compartment, there is enough room for smaller items. There'll be another USB-C outlet and 12-volt outlet. And as I said before, to wrap up the front seating area, we don't have that power moonroof, but it is optional to bring in some natural light to the interior. Then for passengers in the back, they're going to receive right around 35 inches of legroom, which is more than respectable for a car of this size and in its market. To put that into perspective, that's about the same amount of legroom than a Mazda CX-30. Not a direct competitor, but that's a recent vehicle I have featured on the channel. And to have this amount of interior space is going to allow you to fit average-sized adults in the back. Now, obviously, if you are around the height of 6 feet tall and above, you'll be hitting your head on the headliner. That is typical for a car with that lower roof line. Now, I adjusted the seat all the way back, and it's somewhat on a recline, and I still have about 3 or 4 inches of legroom remaining. So you are going to have some versatility here in regards to interior dimensions. Obviously, you will not be fitting a third person in the center because this car's width is just not going to allow that. You'll be fighting for shoulder room for sure. But if you're just going to have 2 people in the back, it's more than conducive for a car at around $25,000. Now, I have to say here, I am a bit surprised. For the second row, you are going to receive 2 USB-C inputs. That is rare. That is so rare in this market for a car at this price point. Now, not too much of a surprise though, you're not going to have 2 center-mounted air vents. You'd rarely see that in the compact car market. But I'm still glad that we can at least charge our phones, charge our iPads, while our driver is dealing with the horrible other commuters out there on the roadways these days. And then to wrap up the second row seating area, you are going to receive a center armrest with 2 cup holders. And lastly, for the SE, you are going to receive the 2-liter 4-cylinder engine, producing 169 horsepower and 151 pound-feet of torque. It is paired with the CVT, but the big difference is the sports tune suspension. Now, let's be honest, this is not a GR Corolla, so you're not going to be taking on sharp corners, twists and bends, driving like you're on a racetrack here. But what I do notice, though, with the SE is that you have more of a weighted steering. It feels a bit stiffer, but it's still going to be an economical car at the end of the day. Now, with the 18-inch wheels, you do notice a slight decrease in fuel economy, but that's a minor sacrifice. What you have here with the SE, I think, is a better value at around $25,000. To get what you're receiving here for about $2,500 more than the LE, I think it's worth it. Now, when you are comparing this to its closest rivals, such as the Honda Civic, the Elantra, maybe even the Subaru Impreza, what you are going to notice here is that with this car is its handling and cornering capabilities are not going to be on par with most of those competitors. This is still going to be a daily driver that's economical, affordable, and actually relatively comfortable and quiet. Obviously, with the CVT, there is some droning there. Unfortunately, it's not like the eCVT you have with the Camry where it is so quiet. But still, as a daily commuter vehicle, this is more than you can ask for. What I also like too is that with the SE, these sport seats give you a lot more bolstering and support, so you have a bit more comfort here on those longer drives and weekday commutes. Now, I am currently in sport mode, which doesn't really do too much here, if I'm going to be completely honest. But throttle response does get a bit more active, and I don't really mind the steering input. It is light, typical for a Japanese car, but very direct and smooth. Now, the CVT does mimic gear shifts, surprisingly. Obviously, when you're getting on the highway, that's a bit of a different story, as with all CVTs. But even with the Sport Tune suspension, it glides over the roadways pretty nicely here. Also, of course, for a car at around $25,000, I am not expecting a premium experience. I'm not expecting a car that's going to feel all that refined. I think if you're looking for that, you might want to go with the XSE, maybe even go with the Toyota Camry, because even for a Camry LE, it feels a lot nicer on the roadways. Even though I think the LE for the Camry has stiffer seats than what I'm experiencing here for the Corolla SE. For suburban driving, you have a decent amount of low to mid-range torque. It's once you get to the high end, that's where it all falls apart. But again, only 169 horsepower, so this is not going to be an athletic or spry car, to say the least. But I do think, though, that for an affordable car under $30,000, tech-wise, even just what you're getting here in regards to comfort, interior quality, to have all of this heading into 2025 is pretty impressive. Now, I still think, though, that the Honda Civic is the best car in this segment by far. With the Civic, you're getting a car that feels more planted on the roadways, drives better, and obviously with the Civic, it's a newer generation, so it feels newer for the interior. With the Corolla, I have a feeling that Toyota's going to have to bring out a new generation for this car very soon. Not only to drop in the new hybrid systems that's now in the Camry, but to also give you a car that feels more on par with its rivals, because even at $25,000, you might get a better gauge display too. But if you're solely looking at buying a Toyota because reliability is what really sells this car at the end of the day, I would go with the SE. I would just go with the SE. I think design-wise, it looks better. Interior with these sports seats, more comfortable for sure than what you have with the LE. And also with the Sport Tune suspension, you can have a little bit more fun. So all in all, after this quick test drive and comparing it to the LE, this is a pretty good choice. I think this is the better option in the lineup. For $2,500, you're getting a bit more here. Now, obviously, optional packages would make this a better value too, but then you're getting close to $30,000. If you don't need a moonroof, you don't need the blind spot detection and rear cross traffic alert, and all you're really looking for is a car that looks sporty, looks engaging, but still is efficient and practical, you're going to have that here with the SE. And I think that if you are someone on that stricter budget, you don't need a crossover, you don't need a hatchback, this really is a solid choice. The CVT does well, relatively speaking. I wish we had a traditional automatic here to really roll to the gears and have some fun. But really, as a car that's going to be mostly a commuter vehicle, you're cruising around in the city and suburbs, the CVT does perform quite well. And obviously with this 4-cylinder, it's pretty good for a car under $30,000. So if you are in the market, definitely check one out. And if you are looking at a Corolla exclusively, compare and contrast, but I think the SE would be the better choice. So guys, I hope you enjoyed this quick review for the 2025 Toyota Corolla SE. If you did, please like, comment, share, and subscribe for more, and I will see you guys next time.